Today we have a lot of 2K26 news to go over, including some inside information that you're going to be seeing on this channel for the first time and nowhere else. But look, I'm going to keep this video short and sweet, even with a decent amount of information. So drop a like for me not wasting y'all's time. We're going to go over some 2K26 news you probably haven't seen yet, some misconceptions about the information that we've got, some rumors that people are believing that aren't true. It's going to be quick, but a lot inside of this, okay? So the first thing we really need to talk about is the fact that, as you all see, gameplay powered by Proplay is coming out this week. The week of July 28th is what it says from the 2K26 roadmap itself. Now, July 28th is on a Monday. 2K likes to drop news on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I do believe we will be seeing this information on Tuesday, which is July 29th. If not, it will be on the 31st, guys, okay? Because there is 31 days in this month. Now, after that, Mike Wang is probably going to start telling us about the gameplay like as soon as that drops. So, of course, all that information is going to be on here. We're going to cover it all, etc. But we do need to talk about Proplay for just a second. Swag said Proplay returning fries, which he's saying like fries in the bag. It's a bad term. He's saying it's not good for those of you that are a little bit older. And Double H said, I mean, Proplay returning isn't an issue. Proplay is them just importing real life NBA player moves. The issue is they need to make these moves more responsive. We need to be able to cancel out of all these moves at any point in the move. The game speed needs to go up, and they need to add numbered moves just like 2K16 through 2K20 had, instead of only just having NBA player animations. Now, I don't think that you should actually be able to cancel out of every single move. I'm not sure if that's what he really means, but yes, I do agree with most of that right there, that it doesn't make sense that we don't have numbered animations anymore, which really do limit the amount of animations that are in the game. Then you could go on and on about how they just gatekeep all the animations. And I mean, there's literally, we're on season 8 of 2K25, season 9, whatever, and there's a bunch of animations, if you guys don't know, that they still haven't dropped and they won't drop, that are just sitting there that could have been in the game and added variety. Now, people have been believing ever since this information that there is gonna be no RNG in 2K26 for sure, okay? So let's just go over it again. Higher difficulties, including most competitive multiplayer modes, will play with green or miss jump shot timing this year to yield a heightened competitive atmosphere. Based on community feedback, shot meters and dunk meters both show you your green windows, similar to 2K24's. In addition, layup timing is permanently enabled to separate skilled finishers and make those highly contested finishes at the rim even more spectacular and impressive. People are telling me, Badge, it says green or miss, there's no RNG. Bro, that does not mean that 100%, okay? It doesn't. The game could easily drop and actually have no RNG or very low amounts of RNG. But most likely, that information is not telling us really anything besides when you're in the stage, when you're in the Pro-Am, you have to time your shot correctly for it to go in. That doesn't mean there can be an algorithm behind that rolls the dice just like this year, but obviously, there's no whites that go in. It's literally just removing whites. There can still easily be RNG inside of those definitions. Now, real quick, I put together, as you see, just a little quick collage of my win percentages this year in every mode on 2K25. 90 win percent in Park, 93 in Rec, blah, blah, blah. And the reason why I want to show you all this is, especially for the newer people, when I give a constructive criticism on this game, where I think that the gameplay could improve, I think that the gameplay could use something that, you know, could remove this animation and it would be better. It's constructive criticism. Every single year I can have a 90+ win percentage. I played the least amount of meta I've played ever, I think, in 2K history this year. I did a stage challenge where it was 550 games of playing in the stage. So, of course, my win percent is going to be a little bit lower because you guys know the nastiness in stage. But we still ended that challenge with an 80 win percentage. But the point is, guys, I don't come on here and I'm like, yeah, this needs to change so that I can win, right? I don't need the game to change at all for me to win more, okay? So I just want you all to know that I try to, every single time, give non-biased criticism on what can make the gameplay have a higher skill gap and also be more enjoyable for the majority of players. I never try to get something added or removed so that I can win more games. You know what I'm saying? I never do that, okay? So let's just hop into the next thing, because the last video we were talking about how the builds were freaking everybody out. We've heard that taller builds are better in 2K26, and people were just jumping to, oh, it's going to be 2K21 next gen with demigods, and it's going to be 2K15 with demigods. This is just the one comment that I want to go over from the last video that was very good. The people who like to bring up games where tall builds were overpowered seem to forget the games where there was balance and you could be great, tall or short. 2K17, there were 6'3 playmakers, 6'8, 6'9 point forwards, 6'7 shot creators, 6'5 sharps, 2K19 and 2K20. We've seen people of all kinds of sizes go crazy. It is very much possible for us to have a balanced game to where neither side of the scale is too overpowered. Why? Because we've had it before. Love that comment. If 2K26 drops and one certain height is just way better than any other build, that is an issue. But I do believe that if you have played this game, you can logically, even if let's say you only make 6'1" guards or 6'2", whatever, you can say without bias that builds over 6'4" should get some sort of buff in some sort of way. Not saying that they need to be amazing and super overpowered like other years, but to make it more fair in terms of diversity, so everyone's not running meta 6'4" guard, 6'2". Yes, we do need to make taller builds have some sort of better playing field advantage so that it's closer. Okay, there's always going to be a meta, always, in every single online game. However, we have lived through a game like 2K20 where to this day, I can't tell you there was a single build that was so much better than any other build. Now, when I say that, some people are like, okay, 2K20, the two-way slashing playmaker badge, you're tripping. Yeah, it was a great build, arguably the best build in that game. However, it wasn't way better than the playmaking glass cleaner. It wasn't way better than the BP. You know what I'm saying? There's so many builds that I could put right there with it, and there's so many other builds that when you're using them, you weren't at a massive disadvantage. So I believe personally that 2K20 should be the template that 2K follows in the future to try and get close to replicating. And I'm not saying like we need to have pie charts, but I'm saying how there was so much diversity, and I can't to this day tell you that there was one build that was way better than the others like in 2K25. I mean, it's very obvious that if you're on a 99 mid-range, 99 three-point build, or a 99 rebound, you are at the highest advantage to win a game, and it's not even really close. It doesn't mean you can't win with other builds. You guys are literally watching me. This is gameplay from my 0 to 1 million VC challenge, where I'm using 6 6s in the stage. I'm using a 6'10" and still winning games. It's just that it is at a massive disadvantage every time. Okay, so check this out. Someone made a little template of what 2K could do in the rec for 2K26, where there is 5 different arenas, okay? You have tiered rec arenas. It's a revamp to the rec gameplay where you have a bench warmer gym, a 6-man gym, a starter gym, an MVP gym, and a GOAT gym. So shout out to this guy for making this. It's kind of similar to the idea that I've been giving that 2K needs to literally, and I mean literally, copy from NBA Live, where in NBA Live 19, there was 30 different areas to play at online. Every time you load up, it's a different scenery. In 2K, for years now, they change the jerseys, they change the court floor, but it's the same rec. So they really need to switch it up, and they should already have that in the game. So here's a big thing, just like the there's no RNG, oh my gosh, that people need to freak out about. They need to stop freaking out about, okay? So this says we need a 2K26 demo, and it's just got a bunch of likes from July 14th. Then you have 2K Intel's tweet, where it says, like this, if you want a 2K26 demo, it's got 4,700 likes. Guys, I'm telling you right now, there's a 1% chance we get a demo. And I'm just being nice, giving a 1% chance for a demo in 2K26. Anyone who tells you confidently that there will be a demo, or even just says like, kinda, maybe there will be, like 50-50, just click out the video, okay? We are getting 2K26 on August 29th. The earliest 2K has released a 2K product in the park era. I'm sorry to say this, but that's probably going to be the demo. Okay, getting the game a whole week early, unfortunately, is probably going to be the demo for the game. It's gonna have a lot of issues that need to be changed when the game actually releases a week later. But hopefully what gets changed when the game comes out on August 29th and we're basically playing a demo is very obvious issues. That's what I've gave constructive criticism about, I guess you could say, in the last 2 or 3 years. I don't really focus on anything that needs to get changed or patched like some people, unless it's very obvious. For example, the close shot glitch in the very beginning of 2K25. We could all agree, at least 99% of us, besides the people that were using that to win because they're just awful at the game and they'll choose any exploit they can to have an advantage, that had to go. You could literally green super very tight close shots with your eyes closed back to back to back. The green window was massive. It needed to be changed. That's an obvious exploit inside of the game that had to go. Those are things that I focus on going into it. I'm not going to say, yeah, I think shooting should be a little better or shooting should be a little worse or, you know, the way you make layups, whatever it is. I can give my opinion on it, you know, like I have this year on the dunk meter, on layups, but I'm not going to advocate for a change unless it is extremely obvious that the majority of people can look at it and go, okay, there's no way that should be in the game. And especially around the release of the game is where I do not want to complain about something that in a month, maybe even 2 months, I can have completely mastered. That's the point of a yearly cycle game where I believe too many people want something easier or nerfed when they just haven't figured it out yet that it is a new game. For example, 2K24 shooting. In early October, I've said this a lot of times if you guys have been here, but if you're new, I begged them to not change the shooting when they said they were going to buff it. After that, everybody could shoot. I was just like really getting it down. I was shooting 60, 70% from 3. After the patch, every single person could shoot for the rest of the year. There really wasn't much of a skill gap with it, when I feel like they could have just waited another month or so and figured it out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, inside information. You might have stuck around for that. I'm glad you did. What I can tell you is, from my sources, okay, and I want you to take this all with a grain of salt, please, because the game is not out yet. There's still like 30 more days. There's still events where there's going to be way more creators playing than who have played now. That's, long story short, how I can say it. A lot can change, okay, based on the feedback they get from creators or just the developers changing things themselves. 2K has said that the game is aiming for a higher competitive skill gap. I don't know if that's going to be in every mode, park, stage, pro-am. We know that. This is information they've already given. I can tell you, I can confirm to you that at the state of the game right now, that is true. That they are actually trying to do that. Now, am I saying this is going to be the highest skill gap game ever? No, I'm really just like comparing it to 2K25 and the information that they have given us. Like I said, when the game comes out, it could be completely different. So much could change from the things I know at the moment. The next thing. Uncle Demi has told us that taller builds are going to be better. They're going to be able to dribble. I don't know about the dribbling necessarily, but I do know that 2K has said they want to have more diversity in the game. And as of right now, that information is true. There is more diversity, and that's really the only way I can explain it, is that it's just more fair. There's a more competitive aspect in terms of diversity, where if you're not on a 6'2 guard, you're not at some massive disadvantage. Now, of course, that's different for every mode, like 2v2, 3v3, 5v5. All these things are going to change and are subject to change based on where you're playing as well, and also that the game is not out yet, okay? But it's crazy hearing from the inside that what 2K has said is true. So you might just be like, well, yeah, Badge, oh, they already told us that. That's not inside information. But getting confirmation on whether that's true, because it's 2K, is nice to hear from outside sources, from third-party people that have no reason to lie about what they have seen so far. And that's really all I can say. Okay, guys, so click this right here. It's going to take you to the last 2K26 video where there's going to be good information inside of that. Okay, if you're buying the game, you need to know what the game is going to have, what it's going to look like, and you can see that from clicking or tapping right here. It'll take you to that video. You might as well, because I'm leaving and I'm out of here.